Today we enjoy a special treat, a ride in the cab of Class K36 number 489. Our ride will begin in Antonito at milepost 280.7, with this being the miles from Denver on the former Denver and Rio Grande Western Railway, which ceased freight operations in December of 1968. Antonito, Colorado is the eastern terminus of today's Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad and stretches 64 miles to Chama, New Mexico. Antonito is at an elevation of 7,888 feet above sea level. Our train consists of passenger coaches, a concession car, open gondola, and two premium service parlor cars. This is train number 215, which is the same number used by the Denver and Rio Grande Western for their San Juan passenger train, which ran until January 31st, 1951. There is always a sense of history, and we are riding in the cab of an engine that has always operated on Rio Grande or former Rio Grande tracks. 10 282 locomotives numbering 480 through 489 were constructed by the Baldwin Locomotive Company in 1925. Locomotive number 489 has the distinction of being the last narrow-gauge steam locomotive ordered by the Rio Grande. These outside frame engines were classified as the K36 class since they produce 36,000 pounds of tractive effort, which is how the pulling power of steam locomotives is rated. Since the wheels are inside the frame, counterweights are used to align with the rods and cylinders of the locomotive. During this visit, the Cumbres and Toltec was operating 484, 487, 488, and 489. Engine 483 is also owned by the railroad, but is in need of considerable rebuilding. One reason we chose to ride this direction is that you are starting out in a relatively flat area, which slowly begins to climb from the San Luis Valley toward the mountains and Cumbres Pass. The grade on this side is much more manageable, averaging around 1.4% versus the steep 4% grade from Chama. On this side, the engine is continually working for a longer period of time, whereas the steep grade on the Chama side ends after 14 miles. Our cab ride will be from Antonito to Sublet, where we make a water stop. Sublet is at milepost 306.1 and 9,281 feet above sea level. Departing Antonito, we will cruise along at a relatively fast clip of 20 to 22 miles per hour on this mostly straight and level segment that folks affectionately call the racetrack. Today's engine crew is engineer Jeff Stebbins, along with Carlos Llamas. The fuel is coal, which must be hand-shoveled into the hungry firebox to keep up the steam pressure in the boiler of engine 489. Later, we will see Carlos at the throttle and Jeff with the coal scoop. Both are qualified engineers with close to 40 years' experience between them.